like to look at how fictional stories play into our designing our lives. We don't think about that either. Not just the non-fictional literatures.
I like that you said that, because there are a number of stories that are crafted and designed to help teach you morals and values. Think about it. Like right now, my children, they're in school, and I just love the fact of how they use, the rabbit and the tortoise, or the hare and the hare and the tortoise, but all these different stories, these fables that do help to guide you. And there should be value placed on that, because those stories, while they are stories, they teach you something. And that's what we are here. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. We're here to help others learn and grow. And storytelling is one of the most impactful forms of media that folks resonate with,
right,
effectively, and can remember, right? So that when something happens, they'll be like, oh, this is just like, Little Red Riding Hood, or just little things like that. They said don't go in the woods. No, let me stop. I'm exaggerating a little bit, or trying to be funny a little bit, but they do have so much value. And even though they're fictional, we should not discard the worth of the fable.
The lesson.
The lesson.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
That it came to teach.
So I'll close it up real quick with some resources that I say that I used or tapped into. I used to, of course, read a lot prior to 2017. And then after 2017, everything, I read, and I'll share this with you because I don't think I've ever shared this with you. It really made my spirit unsettle. I had like everything I read, I was getting angry. So I stopped reading completely, shut it down. And it was actually only just a few months ago where my spirit was like, okay, try again. And so now I believe it's because I'm in a better mindset. I'm in a better place. I'm more wise, that I'm able to benefit versus feeling attacked. I don't know, Tiffany, it was weird. I felt attacked in my readings. And so
that's not weird.
I don't know. It was weird to me because I never experienced it before.
It's the trigger. I mean, that would be just like people being triggered.
Yeah, but certain words were triggering me, and I was like getting upset. But now it's changed, but I wanted to go back. So prior, I used to read a lot of religious books. I read, I don't know if you recall Priscilla Schreier. She was the one who had the War Room, and she made it in the closet. I don't know if you ever, but I used to read her books. Fervent was one of my favorite ones. I've read from front to back the KJV version of the Bible, the Quran. I've read, and I love these because they're stories, right? We talked about the stories and the message that those stories brought and the value that they've placed on my life. So the Quran as well. Renovation of the Heart. That is a very good book by Dallas Willard. The Power of the Whisper. So we talked about working out, right? And as you're working out, you get all these messages that start flooding because your body has now opened up. I'm going to say must be endorphins. has opened up, and you just have this sense of clarity that overcomes you, that allows those messages to come in. So I did read about, the whisper, and Bill Hybels was more about God. I've read Islam for Dummies. I've read, but I've read a lot. I used to read a lot, and now I have moved more into the secular space, and books like, have you ever heard of Mark Manson?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he wrote the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a and that is now gracing my shelves.
See, you know what?
What's that?
He probably could do that because he's a white male. I would have to read the book.
You have to read the book.
Okay.
I mean, once you get past the number of times that he says F-U-C-K, a lot of what he says is very powerful, is very helpful in you being able to get past, like you said, I'm not going to allow your fears, your insecurities to weigh on me so that I can't progress, I can't move forward, right? He talks a lot about that. We've got the crab effect going on, and how do we get better at not giving a f-? And so I've moved more into that secular space, and reading books that really challenge my thinking. Books that I've felt that are so secular that I'm like, ooh, I probably shouldn't read about that, but have been very enlightening. And you've been hearing about this whole banned books list, etc. We're banning books, and so I'm thinking to myself, this has got to be the dumbest stuff. Who thinks of this stuff? Where does this come
from? Where do they find the time?
Where do they find the time? Seriously, I really have to understand. But anyways, so I've been moving into that space to challenge my beliefs, to challenge my thought process, so that I don't miss out. Because I feel like when we shut ourselves off, and we don't encourage, and I'm going to go, I don't know why, but Reverend Shelby comes into my head. All I hear is, if you wave it in your mind and doubt it in your thoughts. I used to be like, why I can't doubt? Why I can't waver? Why I can't challenge what you've told me I need to believe in.
Right.
And I think it's dangerous
that you don't
do that, and that you
don't ask the question why.
That you don't ask, right? And that we conform to the point where we are now of the Borg society. You ever watch Star Trek? Where we don't have a thought process. You're going to, that person over there who heard from that person over there, who heard from that person over there, who didn't even know who he heard from, of that person over there is going to dictate my steps. Be careful. Anyway, so yeah,
the world we are gravitating towards.
It really is, honestly. And we really need to take a step back and have a hard look at ourselves.